Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to go over one of my client results, one of my recent clients. He's called Antonio and we started working together almost 3 months ago. And he was making $1,000 to $2,000 a month, not much consistently, charging $500 per brand deal. And really not going, anywhere when it comes to brand deals. He was already good at business, but when it comes to brand deals, he was lacking some systems and some direction to make this basically happen. So now, after almost 3 months, we have made over $50,000 on brand deals together. We have learned, gotten real-time feedback, and this has to be one of my biggest client success stories so far when it comes to brand deals as a coach. I haven't really started coaching, years ago. No, I started a couple months ago when a lot of creators came to me for advice, and I realized that how much I know and how much my knowledge could change, situation of a lot of creators, because they were lacking either their backend, basically the backend, sorry, of their business, or the front end, the way they were perceived by brands. So we worked on both with Antonio. So in this video, what you can expect, what we basically changed, and what changed the situation for Antonio, and what can possibly change yours too. So as you can see, this is his profile. He has almost 163,000 followers on Instagram. He also has a TikTok profile. So as you can see, from the first site, he has 3 pinned posts. I mean, we worked on his pinned post where he shows more vulnerability and shows more of his life. That was the purpose. So the brands, when they visit his profile, they know he's not just another content machine who just talks about random websites. No, he is a personality. People know him behind his content and actually trust him, because this is what brands are actually looking for, an audience that trusts the creator. And in this case, your story shows trust and connection. And this is a good sign. He actually needed to do so. He made this post, as you can see here. As you can see now, his content is very good. He has very good positioning, covers, everything looks pretty solid. As you can see, his bio, because we obviously changed the bio, where he talks about AI apps, tools, and tech, basically to attract these AI companies. Before changing his bio, he was just, positioning himself as another random creator who is just posting tools. And as you can see from the second line, we put it a credibility line. So brands, when they visit his profile, know that he's not just another creator. He actually, so people are more likely to listen what he has to say, and that matters a lot. Then we put it in his email in bio, and so he can get more inbound opportunities. That's normal, and I guess you already know this. And this is a call to action, basically, for whatever you want. It can be, to sell something. It can be for AI tools. It doesn't really matter. Highlights are still for connection and authority. The first one builds authority and the second one builds connection, but you can add on your own way. It doesn't really matter that much. The whole point of highlights is to build credibility and authority. Then, before starting working together, Antonio was talking more about random websites and random tricks. But now, after we changed the content strategy, after we started talking more about creative AI tools and, more about AI, we actually started to attract more AI companies and started to eventually close more deals. Because this is how it goes. If you're talking about random websites, most AI companies are not going to see you as, someone worthy giving the money, because they'll think you don't have a qualified audience. So it's important to talk about AI tools or to post AI content to attract this type of brands and even to close them. So the first thing we did with Antonio, we built a content strategy to attract this. In this case, to attract, these AI companies. The second thing, Antonio wasn't really outreaching. So what we did, we started to outreach heavily in the first weeks. on referrals, on other methods, on basically doing at least 30 to 40 and even 50 outreaches a week. That increased the volume of ongoing conversation Antonio was having. The next thing we do, we raised his prices. His current prices were very low, so definitely he needed to raise the prices and charge bigger prices. And you know what's funny? Brands started accepting. If you offer 500, they are going to accept. If you offer 1500, they are still going to accept, in the end of the day. So he was really undervaluing his work in the end of the day, but it really makes sense because he was really not treating this seriously. As I said, we started to do consistent outreach and we raised the price for Antonio. Then we actually tried to upsell. After every successful collaboration, what we did with Antonio is this. After we got some decent results, we tried to upsell to the brands with other videos or with retaining. And fun fact, Antonio has been able to secure over 15,000 worth of brand deals just trying to upsell after successful collab, making them a good offer. This is something Antonio has been doing very well. He finished a successful collaboration, then he pitched for $10,000, let's say, for videos and some integrations to make the offer sound like a good deal for them. And guess what? They accepted. So upsell has played a huge role. For Antonio in this case, pitching retainers with a good offer, as I've written here. This is something that has really been working very good. But still, if you want to pitch retaining, you need to somehow have some kind of offers. And you can and you can also pitch retaining. You can also pitch, paid ads usage if your video is good. We increased the production of his content. He was doing good with his content, but he actually needed an upgrade on editing, on storytelling, on quality. So this is something Antonio changed. He started to make better videos and that actually look higher production and higher value. So the perception about Antonio instantly became better and higher, because the first thing brands are going to think is this person someone worthy paying thousands of dollars or no? Because somehow in the end of the day, you need to justify your ads. So at least the production needs to be top tier. You cannot control the views, but you can control the production. Then positioning and value proposition. Antonio wasn't outreaching. Antonio wasn't really, doing many stuff when it comes to like the backend part, when it comes to outreach, etc. And even his media kit was decent, but we made some changes, so he looks like a higher authority. So his positioning was very simple. He's already an entrepreneur. He has already been working with with people, and in tech he was well known on tech already. He's just putting content top tier tools for brands for people who want to use them basically. So his authority was high and his content was just talking about new tools, etc. So his positioning was way better. And value proposition, what can you bring in the table for brands in the end of the day? What makes you unique as a creator? Like we figured out also that. Another thing, Antonio adapted very well. It was hard in the beginning on the views part, because when you start talking about some different videos, a bit of different direction, the views are going to go down. And Antonio wasn't scared about that. The views dropped, but the money got higher because he was talking about the right things. And he understood that views don't really matter. Like we can always figure out something. It's just the direction that it's way more important than the actual views. So he understood that very well. He adapted a new content style and he just started being consistent and what I basically mentioned, and eventually started to do better and make way more money, now at more than $55,000 over the past 3 months, which has been an average of 15K or more per month, which is crazy. Like if you think about where he started. So as I said, Antonio is top tier person. Like I've personally known him, and it's not just about the knowledge he got. It was his execution. He was way faster in execution. Like I used to tell him something today, and he used to do it in the same day. Like his execution was top tier. It was also a lot you know, a lot of what happened, it was on his effort because he did what we actually discussed. Not procrastinated, not delayed, not scared to do, but he actually did. He entrusted me the process and he got the results. And if you're a creator, you know, even if you're not working with me or if you're not going to work with me, it doesn't really matter. Always, if you are working with someone, entrust the process to the person you're working with. You invested to him for some reason. So trust in the process and be fast, because these are two of the most important things when it comes to implementation. So yeah, this is what basically helped Antonio get to this big milestone and get these results and basically become one of my top clients, which probably I'll have an interview with for sure. So yeah, if you're a creator and need some help when it comes to brand deals and everything else, you know, even if you're confused what to do, just DM me something and I'll be happy to reach out to you and have a discussion, you know, for everything. So yeah, feel free. It's going to also be a link if you want to book a call in the description. And I hope you enjoyed this video, find something useful, and see you in the next one.